Hello, dearies. Welcome. It's Kelly from the Book of Moons, and I'm doing something a little different today. I wanted to do a probably two-part series on my Celtic library and decks that I have. This first one is going to be focused on Ogham, and I've only been studying for a few years, and I've accumulated a nice little collection here, but I am by no means an expert, and this is not meant to be any sort of an in-depth dissertation on Ogham by any stretch of the imagination. This is intended for people who already have a little bit of familiarity and may be looking to acquire some new resources in their study. So for me, a little bit of background. Many years ago, just kind of in an effort to avoid cultural appropriation, I decided to fine-tune my practice a bit and focus on my ancestors and my Irish-Scottish heritage. My maternal grandmother is Irish, of Irish descent, and my paternal grandmother was of Scottish descent. So that got me down the path of studying Ogham for divination purposes. Although I will never give up my tarot because I love that, even though it has nothing to do with Celtic or Gaelic practices. I still love it. It was my first love. So anyway, the first set that I got was this book and deck set, The Celtic Tree Oracle by Liz and Colin Murray. And this is really cool. It comes with its own sheet for recording readings, which is really neat. And a little pad as well. But what really drew me to it were the cards. I absolutely fell in love with the cards when I saw them. They are just gorgeous. I like the backs. I love the detail and the drawings, the illustrations. I just totally fell in love with these. So I read the book, and the more I started looking into Ogham, I realized that some of the interpretations that I was coming across were different from the ones that were in this system. So that got me started reading more. I acquired this book next, Ogham, the Celtic Oracle of the Trees by Reese Montfort. This was a really good book, a lot more thorough than the one, the Murray's book. But again, some of the interpretations of the Feta were different. So I wanted to read some resources that were a little bit more academic or scholarly. So I got these two books, which are quite thorough and very in-depth. And both of these authors have a lot of historical knowledge on Irish culture. And so yeah, this is Ogham, Weaving Word Wisdom by Erin Rowan Laurie, and this one, Ogham, The Secret Language of the Druids by Reverend Robert Lee Skip Ellison. And this one is incredibly thorough, and I really enjoyed this quite a bit. It's an excellent resource if you want to learn about Ogham, as is this one. One of the things I liked about this, it's a much smaller book, but I really liked how it includes the kennings and then associated words, and then how you might use the Feta in magical practice. It also has a lot of pictures of primary source material. Again, very thorough, and I really enjoyed that. But one thing I realized is that even the scholars don't all agree on the meanings for some of the Ogham, which led me to sort of creating my own lexicon. I just got this little journal, and I just have like 2 pages each where I jot down my own notes about different, when I read different things or nuances about meanings. This is very much like my tarot journal, but there's just so many layered meanings. So there's no such thing, at least not that I've come across, as the be-all, end-all, one source meaning for the Ogham. So what I'm doing is, and what I recommend is, pick one system and stick with it. And for me, that's this one. And again, it's because I like the cards, even though this system is a tad more pop culture-y, I think. I still really love it. One of the things I in particularly like about it is it includes the forfeita, but not only that, I really, because some of the other decks do as well, but I really like the interpretations for the forfeita, particularly Grove. It includes Grove and the Sea, which are energies I really like working with that I haven't found in other decks. So I really like this, and this is what I'm sticking with. In addition to that, a couple of other interesting decks I've come across. This is the Cran Ogham Celtic Oracle by Osvaldo R. Ferris. And I don't know how I came across this one or where I found it, but I just saw the imagery and it's really beautiful. And I don't use it particularly for divination. Mostly it's for intention work or meditation, but it's just got really interesting, I think, and unique illustration. So I like that one a lot. And then this is another one I came across by chance. The Celtic Oracle Book and Cards by Jerry Maguire Thompson has a book, comes with it. And the deck is really unique because it has the Ogham, but also it has sacred animals. And as I mentioned, I'm probably going to be doing a part 2 of this, which is Celtic, just my sort of Celtic decks in general that aren't related to Ogham, sacred animal oracles and whatnot. So I won't talk about that too much here, but it's really neat because, again, it includes animals. The animals have an orange background, and the Ogham trees have a green background. So this was a really cool deck that I just stumbled upon. And then lastly, I just wanted to share with you my own little pet project. So I'm just creating my own set of Ogham staves. And this is a work in progress. These are just ones I've been able to acquire. Whenever I come across one of the trees, I take a little cutting, leaving a little gift, of course, and come home and burn the Ogham into it. So yeah, I'm really pleased with this little set. I've got quite a few going so far. I still have a ways to go, but well, I almost forgot these guys that were over on my night table, so I wanted to include these. Let me just move this aside. The new Celtic Oracle, or the Celtic Oracle by Nigel Jackson and Nigel Pennick. I did do a whole entire video about this, so I'm not going to go into too much detail about it, but one thing I did want to mention, if I can get the box open, there we go. One of the things I love about this deck, it is Ogham, but it also intertwines heavily Celtic mythology. So it's almost like its own system, like it's Ogham influenced for sure, but yeah, I just really love this deck and I'm still learning it. And if you're interested yourself, you can check out the other video on it, but this was great. And then these two little books, these are not scholarly by any stretch of the imagination, but I like them for particular reasons. This one, Trees of the Goddess by Ellen Centier. I like this one because even though some of the interpretations seemed a little dubious, they were unique to this book. I like how she incorporated correspondences, things like metals and planets, that sort of thing. So this was really cool. There was some information in here that I didn't glean from any of my other Ogham resources. And this is just the sweetest little thing. I love this book. It doesn't have an author listed. It's a Celtic Tree Magic. It's put out by Witch's Almanac, but and it arrived smelling so good. I don't know if it was stored next to some soaps or something, but it still has a little bit of a scent to it. But it's got poems and really quaint illustrations, and it is just the sweetest book, and I really love this one. So yeah, didn't want to forget these guys. So I hope you enjoyed seeing my Ogham library and resources. I enjoyed sharing it with you. If you liked this video and would like to see more like this, please leave a comment below. And as always, I thank you so much for your support of my channel, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye for now.